Oh, just so that you all know, the other day I did a video. Please try not move. I did a video where I explained really in depth the double breathing exercise. So I'd like to just remind you, if you ever have any trouble with it, if you want answers to your questions, it's right there on your computer. You can open the video. I think it's on YouTube and possibly even on Facebook, but I know it's on YouTube. So, I mean, I never did that before. The only place I ever described the exercise was in a book I wrote called Navigating the River of Time. But this goes into it even in more depth. Very simple and clear to understand. And hopefully, if you're having problems with where to focus, how to breathe, it should answer your problems very quickly. Again, I don't usually do that. I don't like to make this double breathing exercise available to the public because people that don't study can try to do it and they can, I don't know. It could create difficult circumstances for them. But it's there. All of you come to these classes, so hopefully, if you have need of it, it can be used. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? I can't force questions out of you, but if you happen to have one, don't be afraid to ask it.
Hey, Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, Michael.
The last couple of classes, towards the end, the sides of my neck get a little bit stiff. I'm wondering if you know what that is or what I can do with it.
Well, I suspect, Michael, that it's a combination of the throat chakra not being completely opened and the heart chakra not being completely open. Excuse me, energy is backing up. And it could create that kind of stiffness. So what I would do is I would try to get a deep gratitude in your heart. Open your heart. Be sure you're centered below the navel. Then breathe into the heart center. And I suspect all of that tension that's creating your problem just going to flow down and the problem will begin to disappear. I mean, don't expect it to go away in 2 tries, but in a little bit of time, you make room for that tension to flow down into the chakra system. It'll eventually become chi, and the problem will disappear. And there's nothing wrong with you. You're not sick. You don't have physical problems. It's just tension.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask?
Hi, Stuart. It's Paula. I think tomorrow is the new moon, and it's a good time to set intentions. Can you talk about setting intentions and what's a good way to start this new phase?
I mean, I don't sit around and think about the new moon, the old moon, the middle moon, the crescent moon, whatever it is, if I want to begin a new, I just do this every day. Every day, I I don't know if the word is intentions. I think it's a deeper word than intentions. I commit myself to changing, to growing, to living a better life. Please try and sit still. It's really important that people sit still. If they're moving, it disrupts the whole energy of the class. And, I don't really think about these. I mean, I remember years ago when we had a full moon, we used to do a puja. And that was a time where you would walk around this fire and you would throw something you possess into it, a sock, a shirt, to this, something. I mean, Rudy threw my manuscript, started with a manuscript of my poems, and, but I think to me, this is a daily experience, and yeah, people talk about new intentions and intentions but I don't need the moon to remind me of this. I need to remind myself every day that my job is to truly work on myself and grow. And call it intentions, call it commitment, call it whatever you want, but it works. And when you get into that kind of habit, when you get into that kind of, ability to work on yourself, it becomes constant. You are constantly reminding yourself. And you don't need a new moon. Although, if that's what the new moon does, then it's helpful. But it's like, when I send out birthday greetings, wish you a happy birthday, and I may today and every day of the year, be filled with happiness. We have to wait for our birthday to run around like kids and laugh and play and have a good time. Instead of every day of the year should be like that. Full of love, full of joy, full of happiness. And we don't need a full moon to remind us. Our people in our lives remind us. The work we do reminds us. The meditation practice reminds us. And once you can do that, you certainly will take some kind of an enormous step in your life. There's nothing wrong with birthday greetings and full moon and new moon intentions and all this stuff. I mean, look, we need Easter to celebrate resurrection and rebirth, we should celebrate that every day. We need Christmas to celebrate the birth of Christ, we should celebrate the rebirth of our interior life every single day. That we truly are children of God. And that needs to be celebrated every day. And Christmas, and the new moon, and the old moon, and the middle moon, and whatever else. Easter, Passover, 4th of
I
July.
love that. Making that commitment every day, seeing every day as the sun comes up and goes down as a cycle. Thank you. That's beautiful.
Well, the sun comes up. I just finished a whole bunch of poetry. In one poem, this guy is looking at the sun setting and thinking that he was born here to contemplate death. And he wondered when the sun rised the next morning if his soul would rise with it. Yes, all these things have to be reminders of why we have come here, why we were born here. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Hi, Stuart. This is Melissa.
Yes, Melissa.
Are there chakras in the back and sides of the head also?
Well,
I know that.
there's the crown chakra, there's the third eye. And, look, chakras are kind of like, meridians that they use in acupuncture, and, I hate to talk about my books, but in the book, Leah, I talk about when he is doing this inner work with this girl, trying to transform the cancer into Shakti and energy. He talks about seeing, the chakras being like 7 planets. Around the chakras are all these energy points, which they call meridians, which are suns and moons. And you basically have inside every human being the entire universe. And our work really is to give balance to that universe so that energy can move to, all parts of the head, the hands, the feet, the knees, the calves, the entire body. So yes, there are chakras, and all over the body. The 7 main ones are the ones that we work with. But if you open those 7 main ones, the rest of the body will be energized. Because basically what you have inside yourself, is really a you have the entire universe inside. When you look out and see the stars and the heavens and billions of years, it's all a reflection of what exists inside a human being. And the 7 basic chakras will stabilize it all, will bring it all into balance and harmony so that every part of you can be nurtured. And there are chakras everywhere, in the elbows and the fingers, and and the palms. But the main thing are the 7 basic chakras. And also main thing is to recognize that the planets, the stars, the sun, the moons, all of these elements that exist in the universe are just a reflection of what exists inside each and every human being. That's how extensive energy is inside every one of us. And we use maybe 5% of it.
It's amazing. Wow.
Hmm?
It's amazing.
It is amazing, but it's true. I mean, I came upon this when I was doing healing work with that young girl. And then it came out of me in that book. And I said, holy shit, this really is amazing. You're right. I was amazed.
Mm.
So it's not just the stars, people read the stars to tell you what's going on inside yourself, because the stars are just a reflection of our inner lives.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you. I'm glad you asked that question. I never even dreamed of talking about this. You see what comes out? It's extraordinary what comes. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And just, there's no separation between the inner and the outer. It's all one. And we are born here to learn that it's all one. How many times have you heard that it's all one? It's all one. Does anyone else have a question? And don't think about this, but just be grateful for how vast the consciousness is in a human being. The universe teaches us that, tells us that. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, there'll be meditation class on Sunday. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. And God bless you all. My God, without that question and Paula's question and Michael's question, I mean, it just adds so much to the meditation that I'm very grateful when people can do that. Melissa's question, my God, that one I never dreamed of talking about. Opened up something very deep inside me. Okay, thank you, and God bless you all. As you know, just to finalize everything, there's going to be a retreat on, in August. If you haven't signed up for it, you're welcome to come. You'd have to go on a waiting list, but I'm sure most people that sign up will be able to get into the retreat. And also I'm having in-person classes, so they're very powerful. There's hands-on healing. And, you're all invited to come. Okay, God bless you all. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in a few days. Have a great weekend.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Stuart.
Stuart.
Thank you, Stuart.
Love you.
Thank you, Stuart.